As a staff, it's important for us to talk about and develop a plan to deal with cyberbullying within our school. To fight cyberbullying in our school, we have to understand it. By definition, cyberbullying is any type of harassing, threatening, demeaning, or embarrassing another person online. Typically, this is done through mean comments, online rumors, and even sexual remarks. They're usually connected with appearance, intelligence, race, sexuality. So what does cyberbullying look like? Cyberbullying comes in many different forms. Excluding others just to be mean. Harassment, bullying behavior that happens over and over again. Public humiliation is public embarrassment through words, pictures, and videos. Name-calling, teasing, taunting, insulting. Stalking is when someone won't leave another student alone. Fake profiles allow bullies to hide identities or impersonate others just to be cruel. Trickery is when students pretend to be friends and then betray other students online. And the effects of cyberbullying have a huge impact on our student population. Cyberbullying can cause depression, low self-esteem, school avoidance, bad grades, real trauma that could take years to repair, and suicide. Our school's responsibility. So most states have hesitated to pass new laws to further criminalize cyberbullying and instead opt to direct schools to deal with problems. In the U.S. Supreme Court case, Tinker versus Des Moines, the court ruled that the suspension of 3 public school students for wearing black armbands to protest the Vietnam War violated the free speech clause of the First Amendment. Thus, the court clarified that school personnel have the burden of demonstrating the speech or behavior resulted in or has a reasonable likelihood of resulting in a substantial interference. This shows that ultimately schools have to prove that behavior or speech results in or can result in substantial interference. This has become the default standard that schools apply when evaluating their ability to discipline students for their misbehavior. Can we, as a school, prove that a student's behavior or speech substantially interferes with the school or classroom climate? The U.S. Supreme Court typically weighs on the side of free speech. However, certain expressions are not protected and students can be disciplined. For instance, if a student's behavior or speech substantially or materially disrupts learning, interferes with the educational process or school discipline, utilize school-owned technology to harass other students, or threatens other students or infringes on their civil rights, these students can be disciplined. What educators should take away from all of this is that once they learn of victimization taking place, they have a duty to do everything in their power to ensure that it stops. Simply disciplining the student who did the bullying isn't enough. You must ensure that it actually stops and that the person targeted is safe. So, how do we do this? According to Lambert Foundation of Child Safety, deterrence theory is a very popular philosophy within the criminal justice system, and as such serves as the basis for many policies, mandatory sentences, and 3-strike laws. The basic premise is simple. Rational people would therefore be more likely to refrain from deviance when the cost, severe punishment, are increased. This article continues to say that the problem with this perspective is that adolescent brains haven't yet fully developed to the point where we can assume rationality in the face of unknown or unlikely consequences. We have to adapt our discipline methods. We want a positive school culture. We need to take proactive steps to make our preventions and reactions match a more positive outlook that reinforces success and positive change in student thinking. We start with preventions. Monitor online activities in your classroom. Talk to students about what cyberbullying is and what they can do to prevent it. Encourage kids to speak up. Give students a safe way to reach out to adults. Build positive, healthy relationships with students. As a school, there are certain things that we need to do. First, to have a specific To have specific definitions of harassment, intimidation, and bullying, including the electronic variants. To establish gradual consequences and remedial actions. To have procedures for reporting that make students feel safe and clarify teacher responsibilities. To have procedures for investigating cyberbullying cases. To have language specific that if a student's off-campus speech or behavior results in substantial disruption of the learning environment or infringes on the rights of other students, the student can be disciplined. To have procedures for preventing cyberbullying. Creating a curriculum for a positive school climate. We need to create a curriculum to reinforce our positive school climate. The four most promising prevention practices are: first, debunking misconceptions about digital behavior, building empathy and understanding within our student population and our teachers, teaching online safety skills in our classrooms, equipping young people with strategies to reject digital abuse in their lives, encourage parental engagement by offering take-home letters and activities. A strong anti-cyberbullying curriculum also educates teachers about cyberbullying and introduces a language they can share with their students. Argentine Middle School is a bully-free zone. Let's work together to keep it that way.